Hey everyone, welcome to this week's conversation. And I have to say right up front, this is one I am really looking forward to. My guest tonight is a true American original. His ability to bend and blend genres is absolutely amazing. And his ability to overcome adversity is the stuff movies are made of. Please welcome to the show one of my all-time favorites, Colt Ford. Colt,
How
welcome
are
to
you?
the show.
Good, brother. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great now. Like I said, I've really been looking forward to this, Cold. I appreciate you taking the time to join me. I got so many things I've been looking forward to talking with you about, but I have to start off with the most important question. How you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I really do. I'm feeling a lot better. What I'm dealing with most of now is more anxiety and mental stuff, as much as anything. But I'm
Hmm,
back out playing. I'm playing full. I just did a full 90 minute the other day. Had no problems. So I'm not. I won't play as much as I used to, as many shows as I used to. I
okay.
used to be pretty hard on the road. I meant 30 shows a year, and they're probably going to more like 50 shows a year. But uh, I'm feeling pretty good. The fans made me want to come back. So yeah.
Well, that was one of the things I wanted to ask you about as well, which is, where did you draw the strength and inspiration from, to come back in the way that you have? And I can't help but think the fans played a big part in it.
For sure. The fans, I meant it was a lot worse than we were able to put out there to the public when it happened. I mean, I woke up out of the coma after, I don't know, a week or 8 days or something, and I had like 2,500 text messages of people, people like, I had a heart attack. Everybody doing all right. It's like, yeah, no, it's a little more than that. I mean, it was pretty bad. I mean, I died twice. I was 20 hours of surgery, 8 liters of blood. I was in a coma for a week. I was on ECMO, that's the final Hail Mary there. If that don't work, there ain't nothing they can do. So the good Lord just wasn't ready for me. He had more for me to do, and the devil was scared. So
Yeah.
I'm still here.
I'm just so glad to hear that you're back out doing what you love to do, and I can't help but think probably that feeling you get when you're just getting ready to take the stage is there any medicine better than that?
No, there's not. And you go through such. I've never been a. I was never been afraid or nervous kind of guy, man. I've always been an alpha male, like country boy, whatever you want to do, I can do it. Uh, and all of a sudden, I wake up out of this coma and I cannot pick up a styrofoam cup and feed myself ice. Like I, it's just unbelievable. I just had never been in anything like that or experienced anything where I couldn't go. If before, if my wife needs something, my kids need something, my mom needs something, I can go do it. I can fix it. I can build it. I can buy it. I can go work for it. Whatever it is, I can do it. And all of a sudden, it's like I can't do anything. I got to sit down, and it was it was a lot. It's been a lot mentally and emotionally to have to sit down like that and go, I can't do what I normally do. And then there was the fear of, will the fans even be there when you come back? You start thinking about that. I mean, like, you don't know. I mean, you don't know. I mean, and you start questioning everything when situations like this happen. And what the fans just kept sending me messages, kept sending me love and comments. And I went out there and did a little bit, and I was like, okay, I owe these people. The fans are why any artists even exist. And I don't have much respect or tolerance for artists that don't appreciate their fans the way they ought to, considering they're the ones that make our lives. So,
Yeah. No,
yeah. And now after what I've gone through, and I'm 55 and everything, I have to be honest with everybody. I'm like, don't ask me a question you don't want to answer. Old Colt might have tiptoed around and tried not to hurt your feelings. 55 years old after dying twice, you might get your feelings hurt if you ask me something you don't want to answer to. And it don't bother me much either anymore. So yeah,
well, you know what? A lot of people talk about like having a new lease on life and things like that. And I just think maybe, cutting through the clutter and just getting to the point and being honest, there's some good to that.
we would be. We'd be a whole lot better if everybody just. My mama was raised. She's like, it's black and white. My
Yeah.
mama said, if you tell me you're gonna be there at 2 o'clock and you shoot up at 2:15, well then I guess you're just a liar. She didn't see it any other way. And my dad lived in 100% the gray area. Like, oh, it'll be okay. And my mom's like, nope, it's either here or if
Yeah.
my mom told me I was getting a whipping at 3:45, I promise you, you better at 3:40, you better be getting ready because it's happening.
Yeah, and some of us didn't even get the advance warning.
And
It
you may
just
not get no
happened.
warning. Yeah, you just may get whopped upside the head. It doesn't matter where you is at, church, Walmart, anywhere.
I remember it well. Now,
Yeah, that's the era I grew up in.
yeah, same here. Now,
Yeah,
Colt, you just touched on something. We were talking about your mom and dad. Now, I always love to just kind of take a quick trip back, like in Back in the Future, getting that DeLorean, kind of go back
yeah.
in time a little bit. When did you discover that you had this love for music? When did your journey kind of begin?
Early on, my mom would, because nobody in my family played music or did anything. Early on, my mom would, uh, we'd be riding in the car and she'd say words and tell me to say something that rhymed with it. So it started like that. And I would, this is pre-car seats and seat belts and all that kind of shit. I mean, I remember laying in the back window of the car, whatever. I mean, bouncing all around the thing. And I'd beat on the dash and she'd say and it just started from there. So I'm really a drummer at heart too. Like I used to play drums in the show every now and then. I'd go back and play drums. Let my drummer at the time, he sang, so I'd go play drums and let him sing. My new drummer doesn't sing. He told me he'd take a smoke break, but uh, I told him we couldn't do that. I had to keep working. Uh, but it's music's always, people ask me when you got into it. I'm like, I don't know. I just know music got into me. I don't know that I ever, when I got into it, it got into me, and it's just kind of who I am. I mean, I'm not pretending to be anybody. I'm not playing a character or not a role. I'm just everything I write about is something I've either been there and saw or was part of, or somebody said, "Hold my beer and watch this." I mean, or whatever. I mean, like it's honest and it's real, and it's the only way I know to be.
Well, not only that, I actually was going to ask this a little bit later, but I have to do it now because of a couple things you just said, and that's the fact that, and it's kind of like a confession before I ask my next question.
Hmm.
There are a lot of your songs, namely "Cricket on a Line,"
Right?
"Crank It Up." They've been burned in my brain for years, and now more
I'm sorry.
recently, Farm Boy and Hell Out of It. I can't get them out of my head. So my question is, how are you able to come up with so many amazing hooks and melodies the way you do?
I don't know. I've always had a knack for whether it be writing it myself or just seeking out the guys, finding the right songs. I mean, a lot of the stuff on this new record. I mean, this is probably the least amount I've ever written on
Hmm.
this new record. And it was just 'cause it's like I'm 10 records in. I'm like I want to do something a little different. And quite honestly, people are going to be very surprised, I think, because I didn't work for a year.
Oh,
So my voice, I didn't work. So, and then I was doing some vocal lessons and stuff. And I got some new songs coming with me just completely singing that even my friends I've known, they're like, wait, that's you? And I'm like, yeah, I haven't worked. My voice completely rested. I mean, until this accident, I'd only had 1 month since 2006, 7, where I'd had less than 6 shows
wow.
in almost 20 years.
And
So all I've ever done is just work and work and work. And so that's been interesting for me to explore that. But I'm really I'm in love with melodies and stuff, and I love I just it has to make me feel something. I
mm,
mean, like and so I look for that, and if I don't write it, even when I find songs from other people, people like they don't question, they don't even matter. They think that I wrote it. I mean, because I find it, certain songs like they're like drive. I'm like I didn't write driving around. I didn't write Farm Boy. I meant Tyler Hubbard. Gave me that song. Him and Corey Crowder, and I'm like, but that 100% sounds like something that I
oh,
would write.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So there's some cool songs on this new record, and I've always tried to find those infectious things where it's like where I get people going, damn it, I have had to listen to that song so many times, or my kid plays this and I can't get it out of my head. I'm like, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I want to live rent free in your head if I
Yeah.
can.
Well, I'm one of those millions of people who
I
you've been doing
appreciate
that
you. I
for a
wish I
long
had 10
time.
million more. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and here's the really cool thing, Colt. Like, I have all these different, playlists on my phone, and some for working out, some if there's going to be a party on the weekend,
All right.
all different things. You managed to be on all of them. It's
That's so
amazing.
funny. Somebody said, I'm like, man, I am on so many people's boat or lake playlists. It's unbelievable. And I'm like, I'm on so many people's workout lists. It is unbelievable. And I thought that was funny because the whole time I was so daggum fat. I'm like, why am I on everybody's work? I ain't on my own damn workout list. I can tell you that. I've lost all this weight now, and it's like I tell people, I was like, I know I look good, but I promise you, there's easier diets than what I did. I promise you that. But yeah, it's been. And then I get people go, when I want to turn up, I play go. I'm like, wow, I'm just everything. That's good. That's good. I'm just. I just try to make honest songs. You know, Bill. I try to give my heart and be honest with it. And
Yeah.
I don't say it if I don't mean it, kind of thing. I just can't do that. Uh, and that's something I kind of got from one of my heroes, with Charlie Daniels. I spent a lot of
Mm,
time with Charlie, and he would always, he just, stood up. He stood up for what he believed in. Same with,
yeah.
losing Toby. I was,
Oh,
when I lost it nearly killed me. But one of the things he said, and Trish, his wife, sent it to me the other day on 4th of July. Never apologize for being patriotic,
yeah.
and I will never apologize for that. If you don't, I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I don't talk about politics because I really don't give a shit about that. But
Mm,
the men and women that support provide that freedom for you to choose whichever side of that fence you'd like to sit or straddle, we owe them
mm.
everything. So I'm pretty adamant about that.
Colt, I have to tell you, I'm so glad to hear you say that. And I want to touch real quick. I'll come back to Charlie and Toby, but on the 4th of July, and I love the post that you put out. I'm one of the thousands that loved it. And, I put out a little video where I was wearing an American flag t-shirt, standing in front of the American flag in front of my house.
Right?
And most of the feedback was good, but I have this small little TikTok account where there were
Yeah.
about 25 comments that I deleted because they really got my blood boiling. And it's like you
Hmm.
said, I don't do politics either,
Right.
and a lot of my guests may be where they're at, and that's fine. But I'm here to talk about people's journeys and people's stories. But when I'm sitting there and I'm just basically saying happy birthday, America, and saluting the people that helped us to give the
That's hard to
freedom,
tolerate. Yeah.
yeah, it just,
I don't point. I don't fuss at nobody. I don't all this weird stuff going. Like I never thought about none of that stuff. If you're a good person, you're cool to me. I'm cool with you. I think we've all the media. No offense, you're in the media. Technically, I guess I'm in the media too. And entertainment. I mean, they've all lost their mind. I mean, like it's okay to be different. It's okay. I mean, I you can find common ground with people. All you have to do is
yes,
try. And just because we don't agree on politics doesn't mean I hate you or I'm going to call you something. I'm like, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, like, I just don't understand how a place that's so much founded on freedom and free speech doesn't feel like that very much.
no,
Uh,
amen.
it,
And yeah, I think we're both old enough to remember a time when we could disagree about something political and then raise a beer with the person when we were done.
I just had the conversation with somebody the other day. Maybe it was me. I mean, I grew up in the era like, yeah, you get it, you get the whatever, and you have a principle. You go outside, you fight, you whip his tail, he whips yours. You go back in, you have a beer, and you move on. Like none of this, my feelings and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, or matter of fact, don't talk to me because I don't want to hear about that. Like, I just. Yeah, just get your ass up, go to work, be a good human
Yeah,
being, be a decent person.
amen.
We've lost common decency and respect just for other people, just across the board. I still catch it. Like I'm 55, I still say yes, ma'am, and no, sir. And somebody will say, "Yeah, you don't have to say that." I'm like, I know, yes, I do. Somebody might tell my mama I didn't, and that's not going to be okay for me. So I'm gonna have respect, and I'm going to show respect, and I wish we could get a little bit back to that in this world. I'd be a little bit better off, I think.
Yeah, and I think you being the role model that you are, and you mentioned Charlie and Toby, and just real quick, Toby and I, we were born on the same day, same month, same year,
No kidding.
and I always tell people, he sold tens of millions of albums, and I
Yeah.
sold tens of albums.
Right.
Um,
That's
but
when you can go say between the two of us, we're both one of us is in the Songwriter Hall. I tell Roger Clements, Rocket, every time I go, between the two of us, we got 8 Cy Young awards. And that is not a lie. I mean, we do. I mean, he's got all 8 of them, but between the two of us, we got 8.
yeah, and as
Yeah.
far as Charlie, you said earlier, you're just telling it like it is. That's something he always did. So you're just channeling Charlie Daniels.
he told me early on, when I came out, obviously I was 10 years ahead. I mean, if it wasn't, truthfully, if it wasn't for me, you probably don't have FGL, you don't have Jelly Roll, you don't have
Mm,
Sam Hunt, you don't have Shabuzi. If I don't make somebody had to run through there first, kind of,
yeah,
and I did that, and I didn't get the radio play because it wasn't okay when I was doing it. They didn't understand it, and now I'm like, I sound like Merle. Y'all said I wasn't country. I'm like, I sound like Merle Haggard compared to some of the stuff coming out, and it's always it blows my mind, but. I'm just listen. I make music for fans that love God, family, friends, America, and hard work. That's
mm,
what I talk about. That's who I am. That's what I believe. That's what it'll always be. If you come to my show, that's I mean, I'm on. We're gonna have fun. I'm gonna play hard as I can. These boys are gonna play hard as they can. We ain't gonna talk politics. We'll talk pro America, pro our military,
yeah,
and we'll just have a daggum party. And I welcome everybody for that. I want you to come. Be different. That's fine. Let's find some common ground. It's okay.
yeah,
We ain't that different. That's really the truth. The media just talks about the minority part of it,
yeah.
the minority group of people that are unhappy. The majority of the world is not like that, black, white, or whatever. They just talk about all the bad stuff.
Yeah, and there's so much good that goes on, but somewhere along the line on the local news or the national news, those stories don't seem to get too much play. Maybe that would help. If people
Oh,
could see there's a lot of good stuff,
if Trump
going
cured
on.
cancer tomorrow, they'd be pissed. I
Yeah,
don't know. There'd be something wrong with that too. And the
yeah,
same way, I'm like, I used to worry about everything and what everybody thought, and I was like, listen, I try to be a good human being. I don't I'm nice to people. As long as you don't have, I don't care if you can wear a dress, you can pretend you're a cat. I really don't give a shit. You can do any of that, as long as you're not hurting anybody and you're
yep.
being a having a decent respect and a nice person to people. I still like to hold the door for ladies and people, and I mean, like, say please and thank you like that. I still like that and try to
Yeah.
go keep doing it.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, Colt, there's two of us out there still doing it. So,
Well, that's
I
good
know
then.
there's a lot more, but I
There's
know
a
there's
lot
at
more.
least
I
two.
promise you there are. We just got to stand up and go, hey, this is silly. I mean,
Yeah.
just be a good human being. Let's move on.
No, absolutely. So one thing I always love hearing, and that is if you look back, and I appreciate what you said about like those early days when you weren't getting that radio play that you should have gotten back then. And but if you look back, through your career thus far, what are some of your favorite memories?
Wow. I mean, I dreamed of making music since I was little, and I had made a bunch, but I'd never got to do kind of this. And making one record, I thought that'd be pretty cool if I made one record. And here I am, about 20 years later, and almost about to be 11 records in, and it's just some of the people I've met, the fans. Really, the greatest things for me has been hearing a soldier I met, a battle hardened soldier, break down tears saying, your music made me want to get back home. I mean, these are people that have to do bad things
Yeah.
for our safety. And they're like, when I get those stories and I get a mom and a dad standing there going, "Our 16-year-old son died on a four wheeler. We play your music at his funeral, and we play it because it makes you think he's still with us." And I'm like, that is
Mm.
why I play music. That's what moves me. I mean, I don't care how famous you are. I don't care any. I mean, like real stuff. That's what moves me, and I get emotional about it. I mean, I love it. It's just that's so
Yeah.
humbling to go. My music's been a part of their happiest time of their life and a part of their saddest time. That's hard to walk that line, to be on both sides of that, and
Yeah.
to be able to do that is something that I don't take lightly, and I think about that kind of stuff, especially when I see some of the stuff that's out there now, and I'm going, I'm still a dad. My kids, I'm still a dad. They're like, that's not okay to say that, to do that or say that. But a lot of things are okay now. Apparently, they used to not be. I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, I hear you absolutely. But speaking of your music, I mentioned a little while ago I talked about Hell Out of It and Farm Boy, and you talked a little bit about this album and singing more and things like that. So what else can you tell us about the new music? What can we look forward to?
I'm doing it. I've got some of my buddies that you might expect might are going to be a part of it, and then I've got some people that especially during this last year when I was nothing I could do except lay there and try to rehab and watch TV and watch too many daggum TikToks and all that kind of stuff. So I started seeing artists on there. There were independent artists, unsigned people, and I'm like, I'd send them a message if I dug them, and I'd go, "Man, that's cool. Man, you're cool. I like what you do." And it's been amazing because some of them are like, "Is this really cool?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think you're the greatest. I'm not. I'm just I'm an old dude now. I mean, I'm looking at these young guys, and I met Wyatt Flores yesterday on Daggum Airplane, and I've been following him. I'm like, I like this kid, and he was like, and some people on the plane were asking him for about an autograph or a picture or something. He's like, he's way more famous than me. I'm like, dude, I'm old, bro. You're young. You're where it's at. So, the fans is what it's about to me. I never cared about the size of the venue, the whatever. It's the fans. I mean, like those stories, those personal stories of I wrote something that made a difference to
Mm,
somebody, and that doing that kind of stuff, and some of the people I've met have just I mean, I got people I've been friends with now, 15, 20 years that I've met playing music, fans that I met, that I became friends with, and I'm still friends with them to this day. And
wow.
that's cool. I mean, it shook me a little bit, the amount of people I didn't hear from after the accident. I'll be honest with you. Shook me a pretty good bit, to being honest. But there's times, as my buddy Tracy Lawrence says, sometimes you find out who your friends are.
Oh yeah. Wow.
So that's been eye opening and heartbreaking at the same time, because you think because I just don't really operate. I have one way. I mean, either if we're friends, then we just are. And you put stuff aside in tragedy, in times of tragedy, even just and so that's what emotionally kind of tore me up a lot. Like, wow, I'm shocked that I haven't heard from so and so and so and so and so and so, and then a lot of people I did hear from, but the fans, it's the music, it's the fans. That's what I love, and I'm just still so blessed and thankful to be able to still do it. And the fans are still out there. I've seen them. I didn't know. You question that too. You go, and somebody said earlier, they're like, well, it wasn't like you just had one album out. You've been 20 years. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I mean, still, you don't ever know. I mean, I've seen people with long time careers. All of a sudden, you make one mistake, or you go on for a little bit, and it's like, wait, what happened to that? It's gone.
Oh yeah.
And so I was nervous about that, but the amount of love I've seen at shows, and it's been it's been inspiring, and I think it's brought this whole tragedy of my wife and I. She was already my best friend and my person, but it even made us closer together.
Wow.
So we've tried to find the good things in it, and we found a lot of them.
Yeah, and I think that it's as you're sharing this, and I think back to what happened and how it happened, and it is a shame that like you said, as Tracy Lawrence famously said, you find out who your friends are, but it's also in how you react to these different things and how you come
Yeah,
back from them. And I just think it's been so amazing how you've handled it. I'm so glad to hear about, like you just shared about your wife and those relationships and the fans, because they always say, right, it's not what happens to us, it's how we handle it that matters.
yeah. Having played, I played professional golf for a living for 10 years, and with Bob Rotella, who's the world's greatest sports psychologist, he goes, it's 10% action, 90% reaction. You have the choice of how you want to react to everything. And he goes, I'm telling you, if you'll really live by that, it'll make a huge difference. And
Yeah,
and and that I've had my challenges with it. I've had my crybaby moments, my woe is me moments, why this happened to me. I've tried to be good. You have all those things. You're human.
sure.
There's no way around it. But I'm coming out here on the other side. I think a better artist, a better man, a better father, a better husband, a better friend, and maybe just a little better human being. Sometimes I've tried to look at it like maybe they say the Lord never puts more on you than you can handle.
Mm.
So maybe I had to go through it to keep it off one of my buddies because might not could do it, and for some reason I could. So I'm gonna try to look at it like that, and
Right.
realize how blessed I am to still be here and to have fans out there that still love what I do and are still wanting to hear more of it. So I'm gonna keep rocking.
Yeah, and I think that as you're saying that, Colt, I'm thinking like, I mentioned earlier about how your music is on every playlist that I have. And I mentioned right up front about the way you're able to blend genres in a way that no one else really has ever done. And I think that that's part of the magic. You transcend generations, you transcend genres, and I think and the relatability of your lyrics, people are going to gravitate back to that as soon as they find out you're back playing. It's not like, people can be fickle, and especially in this 24-hour news cycle, things are
Oh yeah,
gone, people are gone, things are forgotten. But I just think there's so much power and so much, relatability and quality in all of the product you've put out over
I
years. I think
appreciate
that's
it.
what made the difference. And the person that you are, they realize that.
I appreciate that. Well, and, like I said, you question yourself, even though you know it. You question things, and you wonder why things happen. But again, they're still there. They're singing all the songs, and I'm humbled by that. Truly humbled by that. Seeing a family like three generations, the grandparents, their kids, and their grandkids all sitting there singing the same song. That doesn't happen much. I mean, and
No.
to be able to do it for this long and to still have them there. And again, I built it without I didn't have I didn't have that luxury to have radio and all the stuff handed to me. I just tried to make good honest music and shake every single person's hand that wanted to shake mine and tell them thank you for being there and thank you for supporting what I do, and they've stuck with me. I mean, I've seen them. I've watched them grow up. I've seen them like they're showing me a picture. I met you when I was 12 years old, and now I'm 25 and I got a kid. It's cool. It's so cool. So cool.
Yeah, and as you're saying that, I'm thinking of one of your songs, Thanks for Listening, is just
Yeah.
playing in my mind as
Well,
you're
that's a
sharing
good
that
example.
right
I mean,
now.
that good example of that album. What we did was we sent it out to on my fan base and let the first X number of people got signed. They got their name is in the record. I mean, if you open that record up, there's all my fans that signed up to however many we could put in there. That's fans' names in that record. Thanks for listening because that's really it. I mean, like shit, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't. I could be successful at other stuff. I have been, but I just music is just who I am. That's where I'm the most comfortable writing, playing, and performing music. That's where I'm the most. That's where I'm the other than being with my wife. That is where I'm most comfortable in my own skin, and I'm learning a lot about that. Being more comfortable in my own skin and who I am, and you have to learn to let go of some of some stuff that you have, and uh, you know, and you have to move forward. You got to keep your
Yeah.
eyes forward. And you got to move forward. That's what I'm trying to do, and I'm gonna try to keep giving them the best, the best me I can. Is what I'm gonna give them every time they show up.
Well, I mentioned before we started the recording, I mentioned a person to you who's been on the show a couple times, Creed Fisher, and I saw that he gave you a shout out on social media that he did a show with you, I guess it was a week or two ago, and said you crushed it.
He did. Creed and I, we met, right maybe 6, 8 months, a year, maybe before the accident, and we played some shows together, and we just hit it off, and it was like, man, I really and then he was in a situation where I was able to bring him into Average Joe's to our label, and we just grown to become closer friends. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoy Creed. We have same kind of mindset and mentality. I mean, we're God family friends, the hard
Mhm.
work, the blue collar folks. I mean, and so we got a new song coming out called "Dirty" that's getting ready to come out here pretty soon. That's going to be pretty cool.
All right, so there's going to be another song on my, well, a lot more songs on my playlist with
Oh,
you,
you're
but
going to
that
have
one
a
for
lot
sure.
of them. You're going to have a lot of them. I'm excited about this record. I mean, it's the most versatile record I've ever made. And quite honestly, that's saying a lot for me because I have been versatile.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of different things. And I'm just happy that the fans they know it's authentic and they know it's honest and it's not made up. It wasn't,
Yeah.
it wasn't done on some deal. It's not Illuminati. It wasn't made in L.A. It wasn't made in New York. It was made in the damn sticks in the woods, and is honest and is real. So they've stuck with me, even when I've done some different things. I've done some had experimented with sounds and stuff. They've stuck with me. When they're your real fans, they'll stick with you. I mean, I look at somebody like Eric Church, who I've loved Eric. He's one of the, I think he will go down as one of the most influential country artists of all time, to be quite honest with you. But same kind of thing. He built it through the fans, and he just made the music that they wanted, and they stuck with him. They followed him. They stayed with him. Uh, Unfortunately, I might be too old to get to the point of selling out stadiums and anything like that, but uh, I'm just happy to still be able to do it a little bit and still have them show up to see it.
Well, I still think there could absolutely be some stadiums in the future, Colt. It's one thing that I believe is age is just a number. And, you're doing what you love to do. You stay young. I mean, I've had, just in the last year or so, whether it's Tony Orlando, T.G. Shepard, Mark
Right,
Farner, William Lee Golden,
right.
some of these guys are in their
Hey,
80s.
William Lee. Yeah,
I mean, William
yeah,
Lee's doing 200 sit-ups a day. They're doing what they love to do. So there's plenty of time to get back in those
yeah.
stadiums.
Well, I'm gonna keep rocking. Whatever the Lord wants for me, that's what I'll be happy with, one way or the other. I'm just glad to be here, and I appreciate you having me on and giving the opportunity to talk about my music and my story and what I've been through. And I'm gonna keep rocking. I appreciate you.
Well, Colt, I'll tell you what, I had one last quick question for
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
if I may. And I talked a little bit earlier. I asked you about your favorite memories, and this is along those lines, but a little different. And I'd really love to hear what it is. If you look back at all you've been through, all you've accomplished, what are you most proud of?
Wow. Uh, my kids, my kids. Yeah. You have kids, they turn out to be good people. I think that's really cool. Uh, Musically, I never had any goals where I'm like, I want to win this or win that or get a Grammy. What I like, I think all that stuff's cool, but just the fact that people, I think if you ask people now, or you ask people that have met me, I hope they'll say he hadn't changed much. He did what he said he would do. If he told me he'd be there, he showed up. He gave back. I hope that's what they remember. I don't care if they remember a word of my songs or not. Music artists come and go. They do. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a matter of what can you. But the music, that's what a lot of artists, I think, forgot. Like, it's the music. It's not. There'll be somebody else come along. The music's what lasts forever, and uh, and I've been really lucky to certainly have a couple of songs that are just lifetime, like will be lifetime songs, like unbelievable to be a part of.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure, Colt. Well, I'll tell you what, I know you've got some dates coming up in Pennsylvania in August, and I'm going to be there at least one of those shows and look forward to meeting you in person and shaking your hand. And folks, make sure you check out Colt's website, check out all those tour dates, and I'm going to be looking out for the new music coming out. So thanks again for taking your time to join me tonight, Colt. I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for having me, and I appreciate the support. To all your fans out there, follow me, whatever, send me a message. I try to answer them myself. All these damn fake pages, I hate that stuff. If I could find some of these people, I'd beat them to death with their own shoes.
Well,
Uh, but yeah, come see me. I'm still out there. I'm still here.
all right. All right. Well, folks, we thank you for watching, folks. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. We'll see you
Amen.
next time.
Cheers. Got one right here. What y'all know about that farm boy life? Check this out. Yeah, a whole closet full of Carhartt. New truck, but I got an old barn full of car parts. Blue tick in the front yard. Blue gill in the bass in the back, man, they hit hard. It's John Deere, dip cans, it's cold beer, deer stands, it's yes sir, yes ma'am. I'm just a farm boy, diesel raised up. I'm just a farm boy, stacking hay up. I'm just a farm boy, turning clay up. I'm just a farm boy, farm boy. I got a whole
whole shed full of toys. Gators, razors, dirt bikes, and a bunch of acres. No neighbors, no haters. I grow my own green and my own maters. Yeah, sweet tea with my fried taters. Old camp, whole camp, we'll be camping later. Yeah, the cornfield's still my money maker. When it rains, yeah, I'm counting paper.
I'm just a farm boy, diesel raised up. I'm just a farm boy, stacking hay up. I'm just a farm boy, turning clay up. I'm just a farm boy, farm boy. Yeah, another tractor ride, another sunset.
Another sunset, baby.
I live